My grandmother read her horoscope and talked to the conjure woman to make the right tea to solve a problem. Some of my friends find peace in yoga and Buddhist meditation. Other Black folk gather crystals, turn tarot cards, and set up ancestral altars, and go to church every Sunday. Or maybe they don't, because churches condemn their practices, but they have no problem with Jesus.
Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water.
Welcome to Diverse Devotions, Black Belief Across Boundaries, where we wade into the waters of religious multiplicity, Black faith, and spiritual journeys. Discover what happens when Black spirituality breaks the rules of how being religious is supposed to work. I'm Monica A. Coleman, writer, university professor, ordained clergy person, and initiated Orisha. In Diverse Devotions, I'll lead you through a tapestry of captivating narratives and thought-provoking dialogues. We'll hear the spiritual journeys of Black folk who practice more than one religion. We'll also hear from individuals whose acceptance of different religions emanates from an understanding of laws of nature and universal spiritual principles. From the freedom of religious multiplicity to the personal journeys of transformation, each episode offers enlightening perspectives that expand the boundaries of Black belief. So, if you're a seeker hungry for knowledge, religiously devout, an educator curious to understand, or simply intrigued by spirituality's rich diversity, follow and like Diverse Devotions. Be a part of this journey, because at the heart of these stories, you'll find the spirit of freedom.
This is Diverse Devotions, Black Belief Across Boundaries. Welcome to the podcast, and I'm happy to share with you where this podcast is coming from, who I am, and what we're going to be doing as you listen to this podcast. Black Belief Across Boundaries. I'm here to talk about and to share the various spiritual experiences and faith journeys of Black folk whose faith breaks the boundaries. Many of us are taught that religion is a singular thing. You're a discrete Christian. You're a discrete Buddhist. You're a Muslim. In fact, a lot of interfaith dialogues are about how do I, as a Buddhist, talk to my neighbor as a Christian? How do we talk about what is most important? How do we talk about God? How do we work together? Can we work together? Can we be in the same conversations, in the same spaces, peaceably or not peaceably, right? So we're taught really that religions are your one thing. And this podcast wants to explore African-American religiosity that is not one thing, that is multiple in a variety of ways. I come to this topic because I'm a person who had questions. That's probably how I became an academic in the first place. I was studying religious scholarship on the topic of religious pluralism. Religious pluralism is the field that asks, how do different religions understand each other and get along with one another? Now, we know that there are some missionary roots to these questions, right? At one point, there were a number of primarily European Christian evangelicals who went around the world to places we call Asia and Africa and the Americas, but primarily those who were in Asia and Africa, to spread the gospel as they were taught they were supposed to. And then they met people who studied and practiced other religions, and they seemed okay. They didn't seem to be terrible people. They seemed to have families and love and ethics. And they began to ask, well, are they going to hell? Can there be salvation for them too, even if they don't know Jesus in the same ways that we know and understand Jesus? And then those questions got bigger and bigger, of course, to ask about, can we understand how religions operate together, how they understand each other? Do they always condemn each other? And if all religions are valid, On what grounds? How does that work? That's what the field of religious pluralism is about. And as I was learning about this, something didn't feel right to me. I had more questions. It didn't seem to jive with my own experiences of African American religiosity and those of many people I know and love. And I kept coming up against really issues of multiplicity. I came across people who were practicing more than one discrete religion, or people who had a strong belief in how the world works, or how God works, or how the spiritual realm works, and thought that those ways of operating transcended the different religions, and that all religions were valid because they all operate by these ideals, by these laws of nature, you might even say. And so I wanted to talk about those stories. I wanted to hear more about that. Of course, I'm an academic and I write about and I talk about these various theories and ideas. And of course, I think those are important. But they're real lives and spiritual journeys amidst all of these ideas. And I was a little bit interested in why people live this way, but really I was more interested in how people live this way. This is my story. This is the story of my friends, of people in my family, of people I know and love, and people I have worked with, and many people I still don't even know. And yet we're somehow outside of the realm of this larger conversation about how religion works, and especially about kind of the larger ideas about how Black religion works. Um, and so I wanted to share these stories. I wanted to hear from people. How do you practice your faith? How did you get here? Tell us more about it. And so I hope that this is a chance for you to enjoy hearing from these spiritual journeys as well. Now, some people know me primarily as a process theologian, and some people know me for my work in womanist theology and in Black and liberation theologies. And for me, they all fit together. Process thought has long been associated with the field of religious pluralism because we have this metaphysic or this way of understanding the world that is grounded in change. We think that that can be true for many religions, and that many religions can see how they operate and how they conceive of themselves when and how and because change is the most crucial thing that happens in the world. That's what a lot of us in process thought think. And a lot of these experiences for me are grounded in the spiritual experiences of Black women. In fact, it was really the work of Iyanla Vanzant that brought me to these questions to begin with, and the way Black women of many religious traditions find solace and help and freedom and liberation in her work, even though she doesn't claim a Christian identity in a more African American traditional way. And so I had questions. I wanted to know more about how we're living and how people are pulling this off. And I guess the other thing is, I want everyone to have a faith that liberates. I want everyone to have a faith that feels free to them. And there are people for whom locating themselves in one religious tradition feels right. But there are a lot of people for whom it doesn't quite feel right. They feel like there's something else, there's something more, they're looking for something that they haven't been taught, that they don't hear about much, or sometimes it's even explicitly condemned in their home communities. And I want to present another way of being Black and being religious. So as you find this podcast, I hope that you will enjoy it. You can learn more at diversedevotions.com. And if you have friends, if you have colleagues who you think are interested in these topics and hearing from my guests, then share the podcast with them, share an episode with them, like and follow. Oh, and I should have mentioned, every now and again, I'll also bring on some other scholars. I'll also bring on people who have been writing about and talking about these ideas and hear some of what they think about how this works, why this works, what doesn't work, and the questions that they still have. Because I want us to keep listening, to keep learning, to keep questioning, and to keep breaking the rules about how we think religion is supposed to work, how we're told religion is supposed to work.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Diverse Devotions, Black Belief Across Boundaries. I hope today's conversation has sparked something in you, whether it's a question, a new insight, or simply a deeper understanding of the many ways Black folk engage with spirituality and religion. Remember to check out the show notes for more resources. If you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe or follow, rate, and share to help others discover the power of diverse religious experiences. We'd love to hear from you, so leave a comment or send us a message about your thoughts and experiences at diversedevotions.com. Until next time, keep questioning, keep seeking, and keep breaking the rules of how faith is supposed to work.